Hey guys, so it's Lena here, and I'm starting in with another scope on board games, and I know that this is probably dinner time for most folks. Jamie, hello, welcome. I wasn't sure how many people would be available at this time of the day, but you know, the natural light is going. Hey, hi guys, come on in, I'm so glad to have you. So we are going to talk about this game that our family loves, which is called Can't Stop. And it really is as addicting as the title makes it sound. So let me introduce myself, and then we'll get started talking about it. Hey, all right, nursing a baby forces you to slow down and stop. All right, hold on. I'm using a different tripod today, and I'm getting used to it. So there we go. Okay. All right, so my name is Lena Sutherland, and I'm a homeschooling mom to 7, and 4 of them are, school-aged. So they range in age from 10 down to 1. And one of the things that we love to do as a family is to board game. Hey, Ryan. And so, hey, Liz, I'm so glad you're here because I wanted you to see this game. I don't know if you have it or not, but your kids would love it. So you can find me online. It's really blurry. Okay. So the easiest way to find me is to go to Instagram or Facebook and look for no twins. hswotrainingwls. That's my Facebook page for my blog, and that's also my Instagram handle. And then my blog is terribly, terribly long. It's homeschoolingwithoutthetrainingwheels.blogspot.com. So that's where you can find me online. And I'm going to put up a post about this along with the scope after I finish talking about it. And you might want to check out the blog post because before we had the physical board for this game, we had like a printed copy because basically this game consists of a board and markers and dice. So you could actually make this game for yourself. We had just 3 pieces of paper laminated to make the board, and then you can find whatever markers you want. I mean, you could use like coins or counters, or like if you have those little plastic bear counters or something like that. So you really could make this game at home. Hey Selena, welcome. We used it that way for a while, and we loved it so much, and it was getting so much use that we felt like it was worth it to purchase it. And it's fun to have the actual board. So if that's your style, then go for that too. But let me tell you a little bit about how it's played, and you'll see how fun it is. Okay, so the board is really super basic. It's just, whoops, I knocked some keys on the floor. Okay, so it's really just, it looks like a big stop sign, right? Like can't stop. And across the top, you've got the numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 at the top, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And if you can see, there are, more spaces on the center line, like with the 7, and then fewer spaces for the 6 and the 8, and fewer spaces for the 5 and the 9, and then, all the way down at the ends, there's only 2 spaces for the 2 and the 12. So, okay, so who on here has ever played Catan? Do we have anybody on here who plays Settlers of Catan? Or in our family, we have Star Trek Catan because that's just how we roll. Anybody ever played any Catan games? Not getting. Okay, well, anyway, as you'll know from any dice game, boo, no. Okay. So as you'll know, when you roll a pair of dice, 7, if you're rolling, dice that are 6-sided with one, a different number per side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, then 7 is the most common number that you could roll. Whereas 2 and 12 are the least likely because in order to roll a 2, you'd have to roll a 1 and a 1. And in order to roll a 12, you'd have to roll a 6 and a 6. Those are the only possible ways to roll those amounts. So the way the game works is it's called Can't Stop because it's kind of a push your luck game. So you're trying to, get to the top of a particular row of numbers, but at a certain point you have to decide whether you want to keep trying or whether you want to say, okay, I'm good, I'm staying where I am, I don't want to risk losing my, Okay, so Liz, let's see, officially on the board it says that the age range is 9+. So we've had plenty of younger people playing this game, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how to make some adaptations of this game, things that we've done to make it workable, either for more people, for younger people, to make the game shorter if you don't have time for a longer game or you don't have the brain cells for a longer game. So here's the basics of how the game works. So you have, of course, your dice, and you've got 4 dice. And it's really simple. I mean, the rules are really simple. The strategy is a little bit more complicated. So if somebody has trouble with the game, it's going to be in the strategy, but it's not in the rules. The rules are pretty simple. All you do is you roll the dice. And your first turn, you have to make, oh, look at that. Let me roll something more interesting. Okay, so your first turn, you have to use all 4 of your dice and make some kind of combination. So like I could put a 6 and a 1 together and get a 7. I could put the 2 and the 1 together and get a 3, or maybe I want to do like an 8 and a 2, however you want to work it. But you have to pair up all your dice to make 2 sets. And then you're going to use these little white markers and place them on the board. So let's say I choose the 2, and then I'm going to choose the 8. So I start at the beginning of those 2 tracks, and then I roll again. Okay, and let's see what I can make. Well, I could put the 3 and 3 to make a 6. I could make a 7. I could make a 5. I can't make an 8. I can't make a 2. Unless I'm missing something. Your brain tends to go when you're on Periscope, right? So like if you can add better than I can, let me know. But it doesn't look like I can make an 8 or a 2. And I have to be able to make a move, or else I lose my turn and I lose all the progress I've made. So I'm going to go with these. I'm going to make these into a 6, and I'm going to make these into another 6, and then I'm going to place this last marker on the board. Now I get to place it 2 steps up because I've made 1 6 here and 1 6 here. Now at this point, this is where the real fun comes in, because I haven't gotten very far, so it's kind of a bummer to end my turn now. But if I roll again and I can't make either an 8 or a 6 or a 2, boom, I lose all the progress I've made. My turn is over. I get nothing, and it's the next person's turn. So do I want to stop here and save my progress, or do I want to roll again, right? And this is really fun because the family dynamics, of course, for every group are different, and what kids are going to want to roll again and what kids are going to want to, be conservative and save what they've earned and, not lose their progress. So let's just say I roll again, right? Okay, I can't help myself. Got to roll again. Ooh, what is it? Okay, okay, thankfully, I'm safe. I can make an 8, and so I can move this one ahead 1, right? And then you say, oh, I don't know, do I want to risk it again? And it really gets those, stomach juices flowing. So, at this point, let's say I'm too nervous. I don't want to risk anymore. So I'm going to stop and I'm going to save my progress. Well, maybe my color is green. So I've got these, they're identical to the little white markers. You only move 1 each time. So Liz, you move, every time you roll, you have to make a move. And if you can't make a move, your turn is over. There are only 3 of these markers. Like when it's your turn, you have to use these white markers. But then when your turn is over and you're ready to save your progress, you have a ton of markers. Yeah. You have a ton of markers of your color. Bye, Jamie. Have a good evening. So when your turn is over, you can mark you remove the white ones, you mark them with your color, and then the next person uses the white markers like this. Right? Okay. So then the next person gets the dice, and they get the white markers, and they get to go on, so maybe they take their first roll, and they also get an 8, and they get a 6. Okay, so they're going to start on the 6, and they're going to start on the 8. Okay, right, so this does not have to be a long game. The game ends when somebody has captured 3 of these top numbers, right? So when you've made it all the way to the top, and you've successfully stopped your turn and saved your progress, because if you made it to the top and then, oh yeah, catch the replay, great. If you make it to the top and then you don't save your progress, then you're going to lose that. I don't know why you wouldn't stop if you were at the top on all the colors. But anyway, so here's what we do. These are a couple of the adaptations that we've made, especially when you've got younger kids. They don't have the attention span, or, it's almost bedtime or something like that. So here are a couple of variations. One that we've done is what we call the leapfrog variation. So, let's say you've got some players already on the board and you roll some 7s. Then instead of going you know, 1, 2, 3, we let you leapfrog. So you roll a 7, you roll another 7, right? So that might, you know, there might be a number that's heavily populated and you might think, oh, I don't want to choose 7. Other people are already ahead of me on that one. But then it kind of outweighs the odds if, you know, if it's filled up with other people, well, then you might be able to leapfrog. Normally, if you were to play on the 7, you know, you would go here first and then here and then here and then here. So playing the leapfrog variation can speed up how long it takes you to get to the end. And then, of course, you can also vary the number of spots you need to win in order to win the game. So, you know, you could say, okay, tonight, short night. Okay, good, Liz, have a good evening. You could just say, like, rather than capturing 3 numbers, you only have to capture 2, or maybe you only have to capture 1. And so my 6-year-old, Robin, plays this game with no trouble. She can do the math. She gets the strategy and everything. So definitely, I'm not sure why they said 9+, but anyway, my 6-year-old can do this without difficulty. And with littler kids, what we've done is just, you know, they want to play with mommy and daddy or with the big kids, so we let them be the dice roller. Like, you know, the teammate, the older teammate still makes the decisions about how to combine the numbers and where to play, but then the little kid can be the one to roll the dice. So then they're still participating at a certain level. So, okay, so that is Can't Stop, and I'm just going to point out, just because my husband is like this and he knows who designs games, so Can't Stop is designed by a guy named Sid Saxon.